Good midday, good midday, good midday, good midday to each and every one of you. We are grateful to God for the privilege to be able to be with you on this nice, rainy, dreary day. But guess what? Uh, we got to have some rain sometimes. And God has blessed us that we have evaded quite a few storms, floods, and the rest of that. So we're grateful to God for that, and we're grateful to God for each and every one of you that have come to share with us on today, and we're thankful to God. So, um, with that being said, we are just so happy to be here. Kathy, how you be? How you be? I had some stuff that I was going to do. Well, I still might, depending upon whether the rain lets up a little bit. We've got a couple of things that have come loose under the soffit of the church, and I want to close it back off before critters and birds recognize it. I mean, they'd have to be pretty agile to get there, but the point of the matter is the weather is changing, and these critters are looking for places to rest and to do all that. So we're going to do everything we can to make sure that that's taken care of. And I just looked outside and it's pouring down rain. So, but delay is not denial. And grateful, but at least we were able to get some things done that we needed to get done inside. So again, let me welcome one and all. And if you don't mind, you can share. If you don't mind sharing, thank you so much, sir. I appreciate that. Please do so. It would be great. Thank you, Jaylon. Thank you so much. And Cora, good midday to you. Minister Sarah, good midday to you, my friend. Thankful to God for each and every one of you. Linda, good midday. And just grateful to be here. Please, that's it. Thank you, Cora. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. I'd appreciate that. If at all possible, if you would please share, that would just be fantastic. Okay, Sister Thomas, how are you? Deacon Thomas, bless the Lord for the two of you being with us on today. Okay, good midday, Thea. Okay, and so we're just grateful. Let me say this. I guess some people, Denise of the Friesen, how are you, dear? I misspoke Sunday. Folk think I'm not going to be here Sunday. Yes, I am. And so get the word out. And it looks like we'll be back out in the parking lot. And the one thing that amazes me about that is, and I'm grateful, I really am grateful, people feel more at ease and comfortable in the parking lot. That is just an absolutely mind-boggling experience. Just absolutely mind-boggling, because I got to give you part two. Hey, Lynn, good midday to you, dear. Thank you so much for being here with us on this day. And so that's Sister Rains. Love you, dear. Love you from the depths of our heart. We are so grateful that you are here with us today for our midday, and grateful that God's healing power has touched your body and you are still pressing toward the mark. And that is just absolutely fabulous. And so thank you for being here. Lynn, I pray that you're doing well. I pray Mom is doing good. If my memory serves me correctly, I know you had asked, and your brother had asked for prayer. Facebook user, is that you, Erica Morris? I just want to make sure. I don't ask me why that does that with you. But if that's you, just just let me know. Because I don't want to. Okay, all right, cool. And I don't ask me why. I don't know why that is. Okay. Yeah, I'm excited. Um, I'm excited about preaching and teaching. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that means, but um, I'm just grateful to God for that. So if you don't mind, please share. That would be fantastic. Okay. Thank you for your support and your prayers for the homegoing celebration that took place yesterday. And God did what God knows how to do. Okay. Fantastic, Nancy. We're so glad to hear that because we were in prayer for your sister. Jemison, how are you, sir? Just thankful to God for you being. Listen, let me go ahead and get started. And Ida, hey dear, how you doing? Pray that you're doing well and all is well. Thea, bless. Oh, ministering to the family. Oh, that's funny. He was glad that he didn't have to sing behind me. Oh my God. Hey Katrina. Hey, how are you? Okay. That is so funny. I'm glad, Thea, that we were able to minister effectively to your family. And our prayer is that not only are they consoled, but that some more of them will be convicted, as the 9 did on yesterday. And I'm hey LMA, sweetheart, how are you? I think I'm just having like some emotional moments of gratitude. Now maybe, and I'm not going to ramble about this or anything like that. Hey Pee Wee, how are you? But I have been reflecting. Give me just a couple of minutes, and then I'll shut up and get into the lesson. But I've been reflecting on the grace of God. I've been reflecting on the fact that in my life, in my ministry, God has allowed me to touch the hearts and lives of thousands of people that I have no clue about. I was looking just on Union's Facebook page, and it said that over the past 7 days, which was earlier in the week, that Union's page reached over 1,100 people. Hey, Valerie, good midday to you, dear. Okay. And I'm just, and I am, I'm like real emotional, and I don't like it. um, yeah, that kind of helped out a lot, and that's how the Lord led me, and it worked. But I'm really emotional, and because I'm grateful, and I'm gonna say this, and don't take this the wrong way, like I'm getting ready to die in the next couple of days or something, because it's not that kind of thing. It's just every now and then, everyone needs to do some level of evaluation of their life, their ministry, the opportunities, and how faithful you have been, and how faithful God is, in spite of not being as faithful as we should be. And for it kind of took me back to the days when I had first came here, and was burying the gangbangers and all of that, and the numbers of people who come to Christ. And I was just like, out of 27 years of ministry here, God still sees fit to use me. And so I'm grateful for that. But I got to talk about something else. I got to talk about something else. And I want to deal with this because I think this is important because Satan has strategies. There's a story of a farmer who planted watermelons, and in the midst of his planting of watermelons, his crops would grow. Yeah, you know what, Valerie? People coming to Christ does more for me than people being transformed in Christ. Now, I know that that sounds weird, okay, Valerie, Ayana, Chaplain Hearns, when and I think what I'm dealing with and what I'm reflecting over is what Bishop Clark said. Elder Mansell, how are you? Okay. And he said that there are so many people going to hell on a daily basis. Thousands are going to hell, and we as the church just sit back and let them go. And so the fact that 9 less people will go to hell because of what the Lord allowed me to do, man, that's and again, Gina, how are you? Good midday. I don't know how many watched and said yes, and I won't know any of that stuff. And the truth of the matter is, I'm okay not I'm okay not knowing. Gaither, how are you? Because as long as they get into the kingdom, whether it's through bishops preaching or Donaldson's preaching or whoever, I don't care. As long, okay, as long as I as long as I can play a major part in making sure folk don't go to hell. That's it. Listen, I want to talk about something else. Okay. The farmer planted watermelons, and in the midst of his planting of watermelons, there were thieves. And the thieves would come through once the watermelons had ripened. Good midday, Carletta, and would steal a lot of the crop, and it would cause the farmer to lose a great deal of revenue because of the thievery. And then one day he decided that he was going to etch on one of his watermelons that one watermelon is poisoned. And by putting that on there, it basically scared the thieves to death, to the point that when he went back out the next day, nobody had touched the watermelons, because it basically said that one of the watermelons had been poisoned. That's what it said. So the thieves got smart and pretty strategic in what they did, because then they scratched out what the farmer had put in and said that there's 2 watermelons that have been poisoned. Well, they outsmarted the farmer, which caused the farmer to have to burn every watermelon in that patch so that no one was able to receive from the watermelons that he had. And this is the thing that we have to understand when it comes down to dealing with the devil. No matter what you come up with, okay, hey Gina, what you come up with, Satan will come up with something because he's smarter than you. No matter what sign you put up, he can change the wording. No matter what strategy you devise, he can outwit you. I want you to hear what I'm saying, because a lot of times the reason that New Year's Eve resolutions don't work is because they are empowered within yourself. And if you understand yourself, you have too many inconsistencies. And so the reason that Satan has turned to deception is that he cannot outpower God. Satan tried to overcome God in heaven and he failed. Satan will never be a match for God. Satan, you got to remember, Satan cannot create anything. All he can do is manipulate and maneuver what has already been created. Are y'all with me? I need you to get this. I know that story just messed y'all up a little bit, but I need you to recognize, because I know many of us feel that we are intellectually astute and that we are able to out, because see, we've been manipulating people a lot, and we've been doing things with people and trying to convince people to do some of the things that we want them to do, and we actually believe that because of that level of manipulation that we have exercised or executed into the lives of other people, we can actually do that with the enemy. And what we fail to understand is that he is more masterful, he is more strategic, he is more powerful in manipulation than you could ever be. You ain't never manipulated a third of nothing to follow you, but a third of heaven fell because of his power of manipulation. And so there's something that is said, and I want us to see this in Second Thessalonians, and I want to look at verses 3 and 4. Are y'all still here? I want to make sure that you're catching where I'm coming from, because this is overwhelmingly important. Let no one in any way deceive you, for it will not come unless through apostasy comes first. The man of lawlessness is revealed, the son of destruction, who opposes and exalts himself above every so-called God or object of worship, so that he takes his seat in the temple of God, displaying himself as being God. Listen to what you need to understand. He can't be God, but he can try to manipulate you through thought processes, through environments, through situations, to cause you to stray away from God, because he's lawless. I'm not going to mention any names. I'm not going to talk about anything, but I look at a particular person who, for the most part, is so diabolically evil that he is able to manipulate a political party to his will. And you think about that. If that is not a reflection of what Satan has the ability to do, I don't know what is. Okay, the Antichrist will not be revealed until God's restraint is removed, and this is important. Good midday, Minister Sarah. This is important for us to understand, that he cannot victimize us like he wants to. Jeez. See, and that's the thing that many of us pay absolutely no attention to. We don't even look at it. We just dismiss it. You need to understand that God has Satan on a leash in your life, because what he really wants to do to you, he can't do, because God is restraining him. I don't know about anybody else, but that's enough to shout right there. The fact that the enemy wants to not just deceive you, but to literally destroy you. And he cannot do it because God is holding and restraining. You got to remember. That's right, Lynn. That somebody, because if you go back into the Job account, you will see where God puts restraints and limitations on Satan's hand upon the life of Job. And because of that, the ferocity of his vindictiveness can never be experienced by us, because God is restraining him. Jesus, Lord, have mercy. Okay, can you shout on that one? Okay, Sharilla, you think about, and I know for the most part we really can't fathom this, but just think about the stuff you've been in, the things that Satan has tricked you in, the things that have happened in your life, the bad, the ugly, the crazy, and yet still God kept the enemy from doing exactly what he wanted to do. And if that's not enough to excite you, if that's not enough to give God praise, then you really don't comprehend just how good God is. But I got to look at something, and this is not going to be the easiest thing to look at, because for the most part, we don't like dealing with this kind of stuff. But Ida, this is overwhelmingly important. Okay, Minister Marcia, here, and I'm going to talk about. There are. Let me make sure I got all of them correct. There are 4 stages that Satan uses to try to manipulate us, to try to deceive us, to try to do everything within his power to destroy us. Okay. There's 4. Okay. Stage 1. Are y'all ready for this? Stage 1 is desire. Okay. James chapter 1, verses 13 and 14 says this: let no one say when he is tempted, I am being tempted by God, for God cannot be tempted by evil. And he himself does not tempt anyone, but each one is tempted when he is carried away and enticed by his own lust. That's James chapter 1, verses 13 and 14. It's going to get tight as I continue to do these teachings, but if you really want to be powerful for the Lord, there are some things that you need to recognize and understand about yourself and how the enemy will try to use them against you. Okay. Even legitimate desires can be a problem when Satan tempts us to meet a legitimate desire in an illegitimate way. Okay. The process of temptation often means trying to get us to meet a good need a bad way. Okay. For example, the desire for food is good, but gluttony is a sin. I have been guilty of that. Others have been guilty of that. I wish I had. The desire for sex is legitimate, but immorality is a sin. The desire to sleep is good, but to lay in bed all day is laziness, and laziness is a sin. Woo! Because, see, we have, in our limited understanding of what sin is, have placed sin in certain boxes, and what we fail to understand is just being trifling and lazy is sinful. Having sex all over the place without it being your spouse is sinful. Eating out of control is sinful. Oh, Daryl, bless you. I need us to get this. Satan knows you can't just jettison your desires, because your desires are God-given. Now, you got to catch this. Every desire you have is given to you by God. The desire for the very things and other things that I have not even mentioned are given to you by God, but they are to be participated in according to the will of God, the ways of God, the limitations of God. Okay? And that's what you got to understand. So the enemy wants to control how your desires are met. This is the issue in temptation. Satan wants your desires to master you rather than you mastering your desires. I got to go. I done kept you long enough. I can't keep you any longer. I gotta get back to doing what I said I was going to do. I talked a little bit in the beginning. Hey, Ethel, how are you? But I need us to understand it. I'm going to come back tomorrow. And I'm going to deal with stage one because there's 4 stages. There's 4 stages. And if you are able to recognize and to master these 4 stages, you will walk in power like you have never seen before. Did you catch that? You will walk in power like you, but as long as you are being controlled and manipulated by the enemy, you will live in defeat and weakness the rest of your life. Listen, love you from the depths of our heart. You pray for me, I pray for you. And we are just believing that God is going to do great things. I see you tomorrow at 12 o'clock. So I can give you just a little bit more about stage 1 so that we can be more than conquerors. May God bless you. May he keep you is our prayer.